everyone, and welcome back to California Divorce 101. I'm your host, Anna, and this is episode 6 of our series. Before we dive in, have you checked out our earlier episodes? If not, be sure to visit our website and catch up. We've covered a range of topics, from digital drama on social media to navigating a divorce during difficult economic times. There's a lot of helpful information waiting for you there. Today, we're tackling a topic that can seriously affect the outcome of a divorce: hidden assets. Here in California, where property is generally split 50-50, full financial transparency isn't just encouraged, it's required. So, how do assets get hidden? And what can you do if you suspect it's happening? Just a quick disclaimer before we dive in. All content was researched, drafted, and produced by the attorneys and supporting team at Marathi Newfer. The voices and audio delivery are powered by Gen AI. This podcast is for informational purposes only. If you need legal advice tailored to your specific situation, consult a qualified family law attorney. Joining me today is my podcast partner, Kate, who will help us break everything down.
Thanks, Anna. I'm excited to be part of today's discussion. This is such an important topic, and I have been looking forward to digging into it.
Great, then let's jump right in. How do people actually hide assets during divorce? It sounds kind of cloak and dagger.
It definitely can feel that way. While it's not usually spy movie level deception, the tactics can be surprisingly sophisticated. One common method is transferring funds to undisclosed accounts, whether offshore or domestic. Another tactic is investing in cryptocurrencies using anonymous wallets. And then there are shell companies, businesses that exist mostly on paper to hide or move funds around.
Right. What about physical assets?
Absolutely. Things like artwork, jewelry, collectible items, or vehicles could be loaned to friends or family with the intention of getting them back once the divorce is finalized. We've even seen cases where a spouse will gift money to someone, but it's really just being held temporarily for them.
So hiding income seems a little different than hiding an asset. How does that happen?
Underreporting income is especially common in cash-heavy businesses. Think restaurants, salons, and small retail shops. Some people will inflate their business expenses to show less profit, or even fabricate fake debts to shrink the marital estate.
Oh, wow. So what are some red flags someone should look out for?
Some big red flags include sudden financial secrecy, unexplained withdrawals or expenses, a lifestyle that doesn't match the reported income, inconsistencies between tax returns and current financial documents, and sometimes surprise claims of large gambling losses that seem to appear out of nowhere.
Interesting. What are the legal obligations around financial disclosure?
In California, both parties are legally required to provide full, honest disclosures of all assets, income, debts, and expenses. This begins with the preliminary declaration of disclosure, PDD, and in most cases ends with the final declaration of disclosure, FDD.
And you sign these under penalty of perjury?
Correct. When you sign these forms, you're swearing that the information is complete and accurate. Lying on these forms can lead to serious legal consequences.
Got it. Let's say someone does hide assets. What happens if they get caught?
Oh, the consequences can be severe. If someone is caught hiding assets, they may have to pay the other spouse's attorney or accountant fees, lose 100% of the hidden asset to the other party, and in the worst case scenario, face criminal charges like perjury, which could even result in jail time.
So it's not just unethical, it's risky.
Yes, it can backfire spectacularly.
If someone suspects their spouse is hiding assets, what tools are available to uncover the truth?
This is where forensic accountants come in. Think of them as financial detectives. They dig into bank records, track digital currency transactions, and trace funds through businesses and offshore accounts. They can also help determine whether an asset is community property, separate, or commingled, which makes a big difference in how it's divided.
What can someone going through a divorce do to protect themselves financially?
First, hire the right legal team, preferably a certified family law specialist. In more complex situations, it's a good idea to bring in a forensic accountant or a certified divorce financial analyst early on.
What about personal preparation?
Gather key financial documents like bank statements, tax returns, loan applications, business records, and investment accounts. It's also helpful to make an inventory of all known assets, noting when each one was acquired, before, during, or after the marriage.
Let's say someone suspects deception and brings it to the court. What can the court actually do?
Well, a lot. Judges can issue orders requiring the other party to disclose financial information, authorize subpoenas to banks or employers, and initiate formal discovery, like depositions and interrogatories under oath. And if deception is proven, just like I mentioned before, the court can redistribute assets, award 100% of hidden assets, and assign legal costs to the offending party.
This seems like a lot of work that someone would have to do to find hidden assets, right?
It can be. Not only that, it can be an expensive process. That's why it's even more important to be transparent. Imagine the legal costs you might have to pay if you hid something and the court assigned those costs to you. It might be more than the value of whatever you were hiding to begin with.
I can only imagine. So, Kate, what's the most important takeaway for our listeners today?
I say transparency is everything. Divorce is already difficult enough without adding dishonesty into the mix. You have both a legal and moral right to an equitable division of assets, and full financial disclosure is the cornerstone of that equity. Trying to hide assets can lead to far worse long-term consequences than just being upfront from the start.
Right. And if you suspect anything shady, don't go it alone. Get legal help, talk to a financial expert, and protect yourself.
Yes, being proactive, organized, and supported by professionals can make all the difference.
That's it for today's deep dive. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe and share. Thank you, Kate. And a big thank you to all of you for joining us for today's episode of California Divorce 101. If you have any questions, or if there's a topic you'd like us to explore in a future episode, reach out to us at intake@caflg.com. And remember, knowledge is power. You don't have to navigate this journey alone. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.